the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting another Nurgle demon. Yes, we are painting Sloppity Bilepiper, the best named character in the book by far. And well, he's been primed in Wraithbone, and we're just going to jump in and we're going to start painting him. Now the colour we're going to be using first is Gutrippa Flesh. I'm going to be using this for all of his skin. So we're just going to load our brush up here. I'm going to pick a place to start, and I'm going to start here down on the foot. And we're just going to start painting this all over, just like this. Nice and simple. So with that Gutrippa Flesh applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Mortarion Grime. I'm going to use this over the top just to add a little bit of that kind of dirty yellowness into the green. Just like this. So with that Mortarion Grime applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Nazdreg Yellow, and we're going to apply this over the top of all our boils and pustules scattered around the model. Just like this. So with that done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Luxion Purple, and we're going to apply this to the guts. Don't worry if it's a little bit bright, we are going to darken it down. Don't panic. And with that done, we're then going to take some Druchii Violet. I'm going to use this to shade those guts. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, and we're going to take some Guilliman Flesh, and we're going to use this to paint in the pipes. Just here, like this. So with that done, just whilst we're waiting for it to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Snakebite Leather. I'm going to use this to paint in the kind of haft, or the staff, or the whatever you would call this, of his drumstick? Maybe it's a drumstick, I don't know. Whatever it is. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Carroburg Crimson, and we're going to apply this over the top of the kind of bottom half of the bagpipes. It's because we want this to kind of have a slightly pinkier red appearance than the top part. However, once we've got it on there and we're happy with that, we're just going to wash the brush, and then we're just going to take off some of that Carroburg Crimson towards the top, so it kind of gets this blend from the Guilliman Flesh down to the Carroburg Crimson down there. Then we're just going to do the same thing on the back as well. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Skeleton Horde. We're going to use this in a couple of different places. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint in a couple of the bagpipes. So it's going to be this one, just here, like that. And I'll make sure that we do the other side as well, like so. And we're also going to paint in this one just here. Like that. What we're also going to do with the Skeleton Horde is we're going to use this to paint in the skull and horn here on his belt. Well, here at his waist. He's not really wearing a belt. Just like that, and there's the skull next to it. And we're also going to use this to paint in the paper just up here. So with that now done, we're going to paint in these three remaining pipes, and the two colours we're going to be using for this are Drakenhof Nightshade and Black Templar. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take the Drakenhof Nightshade on our brush. I'm just going to pick one of these to do this on, so I'm just going to pick this one right here. So we're going to get this all over. Just like that. Got a little bit just here as well, if you don't want to forget. Now what we're going to do is wash the brush. And then we're going to grab just a small amount of Black Templar, and towards the end, whilst it's still wet, we're going to add just a little bit of Black Templar over the top. Just like that. If you need to, you can always clean the brush off and do a little bit of a blend like this. You just wash the brush and then just pick up some of that paint where you don't want it, like that, and get this kind of fade up from the dark blue to the black, well, dark grey. So with that done, it's still drying at the moment, but that's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to move on to using some Black Legion. I'm going to use this to paint in any of the kind of toenails, his claws, any leather details, so like his strap that's going around his chest, for example. All of these areas, just like this. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Flesh Tearer's Red. I'm going to use this to paint in the, well, one of the straps on the bagpipes, so this one just here. And we're also going to use this Flesh Tearers Red to paint in the hood. So with that done, just whilst we're waiting for that to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to once again use some Black Legion. And this time what we're going to be doing is we're going to be painting in the hood up here. And the reason we didn't do it before? I forgot. And so with that done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Ironjawz Yellow, and we're going to use this on this strap here. Like that. We're also going to use this on the remaining ties and things up here on the other hood, like around there, for example. Just like this. And so with that done, we're then going to apply some Agrax Earthshade to the black, the yellow, and to the red. And we're just going to load the brush up here. I'm going to start here on the red. Just like this. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to use two paints, Kroxigor Scales and once again Luxion Purple. I'm going to be using this on the tongues here and up here as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab that Kroxigor Scales on our brush first. And we're just going to paint this all the way along the length of the tongue. Like that, and of course along the opposite side as well. Then we're going to wash the brush, grab some of that Luxion Purple, a little bit more than that. I'm going to add this towards the tip of the tongue. I'm going to bring it up to around about sort of halfway. Like that sort of thing. Grab a little bit more Luxion Purple here, just add that in towards the tip, like that. And whilst we're waiting for that to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Shyish Purple. I'm going to paint this over the top of this little sack, just up here. So with that done, still waiting for that tongue to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Balthasar Gold. We're going to use this to paint in pretty much all of our remaining details. So we've got all the little bells around, got the sort of miniature sensor type devices up here, like this. Basically everywhere we haven't already done. So with that done, the tongue's finally dry, which means we can take some Druchii Violet. And we can use this to just add a little bit more shade and take a little bit of the vibrance off the tongue, like that, as you can see. And so with that done, we are going to once again use some Agrax Earthshade. We're going to use this to shade all of our Balthasar Gold. So with that done, our Sloppity Bilepiper is now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and honestly he looks fantastic already. There's not a lot of highlights that we're going to be doing, but we are going to be doing some to take him to the next level, albeit the fact that he's at a really high level. This is the joys of painting something like Nurgle. So the first highlight we're going to add is Deepkin Flesh. I'm going to use this as our little spot highlight. That's all we're going to do. We're not going to highlight every single edge, we're just going to pick out the sharpest points on all of his skin. So with that done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull, and we're going to use this to highlight a lot. So we're going to highlight all of our Skeleton Horde. It's late. We're going to highlight the tops and the edges on our sort of Skeleton Horde areas, just like that. We're going to highlight all of our boils and pustules and things like that. Just like that. We're going to highlight the yellow, and we're going to highlight the bone. So with that done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Slaanesh Grey. I'm going to use this to highlight the guts, the bag, and the tongue. So with that done, what we then do is we take some Dawnstone and we use this to highlight all of our black details. So areas such as the claws, the teeth, these black sections of the pipes, and the hood on this. I'm guessing it's a wand. I'm just going to say it's a wand from now on, this far into the video. So with that done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Evil Sunz Scarlet. We're going to use this to highlight the red. So with that done, we're then going to take some Cadian Fleshtone. I'm going to use this to highlight the redder section of the bagpipes, like that. But we're also going to use this to add just a little spot highlight on those red details. And so with that done, we're then going to take some Flayed One Flesh, and we're going to use this to add a highlight to the Guilliman Flesh areas of the bagpipes, as well as add a little spot highlight to the redder areas. So with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion. I'm going to use this to add an eyeball, well, a pupil, just off to the right hand side. of the eye. Like that. I'm going to add one up here. And so with that now done, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Sycorax Bronze. We're going to use this to highlight all of our metallics. So with that done, Sloppity Bilepiper is now finished. The only thing left to do is to work on that Nurgling. It's actually very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to grab some Mortarion Grime and we're just going to layer this all over our Nurgling. So with that Mortarion Grime applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over the top of our Nurgling's horns. And with that done, we're then going to take a little bit of Nazdreg Yellow. I'm going to apply this over the top of his kind of belly sore and over the top of this little boil just there, like that. And with that done, we then take some Crocsigor Scales. We apply this over his tongue. And with that done, I actually put some of the Nazdreg Yellow over his eyes as well. I forgot to mention that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some black Templar. I'm going to apply this over the top of his teeth. And so with that done, we're then going to take a tiny amount of Agrax Earthshade. I'm going to use this to add a little bit more colour to the horn. Like so. And what we're going to do is we're also just going to run this in the deepest recesses of our Nurgling. Just going across his tummy there, for example. And just kind of around here like this.
And so with his base complete, Sloppity Bilepiper is now finished, ready to spread his joyful music across the realms of 40k and Age of Sigmar. It's just very, very, very fun to do. I almost didn't do any highlights on him because I was so pleased with the Warhipster Battle Ready stage. And you just get that from painting Nurgle miniatures with contrast paint. It's so much fun to do and it's really, really effective. And I think the highlights we did add something, but honestly, just really, really happy with it. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you want to support me further like these legends and bosses on the screen before you, you can do so. Head to patreon.com/warhipster or head to ko-fi.com/warhipster. Alternatively, you can now become a YouTube channel member by heading to the channel page and clicking on the join button just here, exactly like these awesome folks have done. And if you just want to shoot me a little thanks just because you really love this video, you can click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.